Alright, so I'm making this video because I've noticed that there isn't a proper tutorial online, at least not yet, about how to do the clashes in Sparking Zero. I see a lot of misinformation going around, and I'm here to show you exactly how these actually work. Huge shout out to Gamer Alex for assisting me with making this video. So there are 4 different types of clashes in Sparking Zero. You have the speed impact, the power impact, the crash impact, and blast impact. You probably know those by different names, but that's what the game actually calls them. So the speed impact, that's the one where both you and your opponent do the dragon dash, and then when you collide, that's when the speed impact starts. How this one works, basically, there are 2 stages. The first stage will decide who wins the clash. The second stage decides how much damage the loser is going to get. So what you want to do for the first stage is wait for there's a circle there, right? And then there's a outer circle that's going to get smaller and smaller. And what you want to do, you want to press square when that's inside the box as close to the center as possible, but not in the center, because if it gets there, then you're going to fail. So you want to get it to the center as close as possible, and then you press square. And if you're a lot closer than your opponent, you're going to win the clash. So the second part is where you start button mashing, which is also square. And it will be X if it's on Xbox. You're gonna mash the heck out of your square button. The more inputs you enter, the more damage your opponent will get. And then that is the end of the speed impact. Alright, so next we have the crashed impact. This one is pretty straightforward. Basically, you guys dash at each other with the X button. So only the X button, and you have to be like within close quarters for this to actually work. So once you guys are close enough and you both hit X, once the characters collide, you'll be in a power impact struggle. Alright, so the crash impact is, I want to say it's like a game of rock, paper, scissors, but that wouldn't be accurate. It's more like a game of whack-a-mole where one of you plays the whacker and then the other one is the mole. So how this one works is one of you will be attacking and the other one will be defending. Now what's tricky about this is that is randomly selected. So you won't know if you'll be the attacker and you won't know if you'll be the defender. And this happens for 3 rounds, and it can randomly be attacking or defending for each round. So this one is definitely the hardest one out of all 4 of these clashes, because you have to have some quick reflexes. So the aim here, and this is the one that I see a lot of confusion online about. So the aim here is you want to be faster than your opponent. So the person who gets the input correctly first, they're the one who is going to win the clash. You guys will probably be seeing this a bit different. Well, no, you'll definitely be seeing this a bit different. So you're seeing 2 buttons here because it's split screen and both players need to see what buttons they need to press. You guys, when you're online, you won't be seeing it like this. You'll only be seeing 1 button, and that's the button that you should be pressing. And it will probably look more like this to you guys. So you want to get it right, the best 2 out of 3. So there's 3 clashes, right? So one person is attacking, the other defends. If you're the attacker, when you press the square button, it's gonna be square if you're attacking and circle if you're defending. When you press the square button, you attack the opponent. If they press the circle button before you press the square button, then an animation is gonna play out where you attack them and they block it. So you know that you lost that one. If you were the attacker and your button input was faster than your opponent, then an animation is gonna play where you actually hit your opponent instead. so you know they lost. Now, if you're defending, you want to make sure that you're blocking everything. And if you're attacking, you want to make sure that you are connecting those hits. So if you're faster than your opponent, the best 2 out of 3, then you win the crash impact. So if you're playing on split screen, then the person on the left should only press the button that's on the left, and the person on the right should only press the button that's on the right. And you still need to outpress your opponent or be faster than your opponent in your button press in order to actually win the struggle. The guys playing on Xbox will have an advantage here because they have to choose between X and B, which look totally different. On PlayStation, it's square and circle, which look very alike. You'll be making mistakes, and that's gonna cost you. Alright, so next we've got the power impact. How you initiate this one, you want to grab your opponent's grab. You want to grab your opponent's grab. So if you both grab at the same time, that's how you initiate the crash impact. You'll almost never see this happening. Unless you're playing with someone who grabs a lot, then you probably like doing that too. Just know it exists. So this is the one where they hold hands and then they flex their key. You know, the way that Vegeta and Frieza did it on Namek. So this one is pretty straightforward. You want to hold the square button. It's going to build your meter up. There's a needle. You don't want the meter to touch that needle. So what you're going to do, you hold square, and once you release square, the meter is going to go back down. So you'll be doing that to try and maintain the meter as close as possible to the needle without actually touching it. So you hold square, the meter goes up, you release square, the meter goes down, you hold it again, up, release it down, and you want to try and keep it as high as possible. If you have the higher meter at the end of the struggle, you win. You don't want it to touch the needle because then it's going to rapidly descend. And then you have to wait a while before you can actually rise the meter again. And lastly, but certainly not the least, everyone's favorite, the beam struggle. But the official name is blast impact. Now, with the blast impact, I want to say straightforward, but if it's your first time seeing it, you'll probably not understand. So it's not button mashing, okay, guys? It's not. It's not. Stop spamming triangle. You're gonna lose every struggle. There's a meter that automatically fills up, and it fills up to a needle. What you want to do, you want to press triangle when it's as close to the needle as possible without actually touching the needle. So once you do that, it's gonna start over and refill to that needle once more. So you want to get it as close to the needle as possible, as much as you can. This will happen for about 2 to 3 times, and basically the higher you go, the more meter you will have, and the person with the more meter is the one who is going to win the beam struggle. So you want to get as much meter than your opponent, and then the animation is going to play where you blast the hell out of whoever you're fighting. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's the easiest one, to be honest. Now what I want to mention as well, you'll probably notice that there is a boost button on all these clashes, right? So to put it simply, it does exactly what it says. It boosts your clashing. So it gives you an advantage over your opponent at the cost of your key. This will leave you with no key and leave you in a state of fatigue. You can't move and you're open to an attack from the opponent. So you only want to do this if you know that losing this clash is going to kill you, or winning this clash is going to kill your opponent. Because if you boost and you win the clash, you're now tired and your opponent actually survived, you're now open to whatever attack your opponent throws at you. and that's going to be very bad for you. So yes, keep that in mind. You can boost, but you should not abuse the boost. Please, you will die. Alright, so that's it for the video. I hope this video was helpful. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you can. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you're on TikTok, just like the video, I guess. And you can share it too. That would be appreciated. And I'm out.
This is the Master Chief. Regardless of what you might think, Fletch Strife Gaming is the realest nigga out there.